8:30 on a summer's evening at Silverstone, and it's not the British Grand Prix weekend, it's the middle of the week for the Powernights competition, and the final race is the Invitational Allcomers Sports and Saloons. 31 cars making it onto the grid, led away by Rob Carrigan, the pole sitter in the group that gets away first, and he's in the Mazda MX-5. Robert Allman in the temperamental number 36 Toyota MR2. He's had two lurid spins in the two Mazda Toyota races, but getting away quickly. Once he learns to handle the mid-engine car, particularly under braking, then he will be faring an awful lot better. For the first 16 Japanese cars from the Mazda Toyota race, starting some 10 seconds clear of anybody else, and getting away behind them the two 3-litre Capris, the 1970s cars of Edward Baker and Nigel Barnett. Then the next group 25 seconds later, featuring the Lotuses, the Caterhams, and some of the nimble little sports cars, the Global Lights GT car there with its 600cc engine, and towards the back the behemoths, the big muscle cars, the Falcon of Greg Rose, the TVR Tuscan of Dean Cook, and the two light sports cars as well, Busch in his red Radical Pro 6 and the white SR3 Radical of David Harrison. So they get away a minute behind the Tiddlers. They're still being led by the Toyota of Robert Ullman as the Mazda MX-5s battle in his wake. There is Ullman out front. Good battle going on behind among the MX-5s. 77 there, Kevin Middleton, right in the thick of things. So too here is Howard Bryan in the TVR Tuscan, the ex-Mike Jordan Challenge car. Very successful in the TVR Tuscan Challenge in its time. Quite a few of these cars around and about nowadays. And if you can convert it back into road spec, what a fantastic summer weapon. Caterham's coming through. The middle is the GT Global Light. Oh, and that's a bad mistake. Clatters into Mike Richards. And Richards finds himself the innocent victim of another incident. In the last race he was in, he ran over somebody else's exhaust that had fallen off their car. Now he's hit from behind. Well, disappointing end to his evening's work. A little bit of pressure there. Kevin Middleton from Alan Robson from behind. And again, you can see the little sports car locked up from a long way back and never going to make it up the inside of the Caterham there, unfortunately. Now then, with Greg Rose, trying to find his way around a Seat and a Caterham, and Busch on the left-hand side of the picture goes around the outside. Rose trying to find the inside way through with the Falcon. Couldn't quite make it through. 94 Paul Dickinson there in the Seat. And David and Goliath from the back row of the grid. Tiny little 1300cc motorcycle engine Radical with the crumbling V8 of the Aussie supercar behind him as they carve their way through traffic. Going left, go right to the inside of the Caterham. No, can't hold the line, drift out a little bit, get the steering wheel straight and feed in the power as the sun sets over Northamptonshire. Race still being led, by the way, by the Toyota of Robert Ullman. 3 Mazdas, then another 3, then another 3, and this is the problem for the cars that are starting at the back, is finding their way through these huge squabbling groups of cars. Busch around the outside of the number 9 Lotus. That's Martin Roberts. And Busch really flying. Mark 1 3-litre Capri in front. His first ever race weekend, and he won his first ever race in that Capri. That was Edward Baker. The sun setting fast, barbecues being fired up in the paddock for post-race scoffing. And a huge crowd of MX-5s to work his way through here for Busch, and behind him for Greg Rose. Now the MX-5s and the Toyota no longer the lead group. The Caterhams, or at least some of them, have got by. Oh, stuck in traffic, can't get through. Busch held up there, and Greg Rose having to get right off the throttle. So they find their way through on the inside. Caterham drivers, the MX-5 drivers rather, waving gaily at them as they go by. You can see 2 and 3 abreast, and in front the black Toyota of erstwhile race leader Car number 36, Robert Ullman. And he's still leading that group of masked MX-5s. But Leviathan, Greg Rose, Falcon trying to find his way through. Also howling up the order, Howard Bryan there. See if they can find their way through safely. Barnabas on the inside, does them both. Oh, that was very brave. But he's got the grip and the speed he can carry through the corners is quite remarkable. In front though, still is one of our Caterhams, and that's Chris Porritt. There you saw the second of the Caterham 7s. Paul finds Allen carving his way through them. Look how much he's left over those Japanese sports cars. Here's our race leader then. Chris Porritt held off everybody else to win the first Allcomers. Can he do it again? Aki Bornebusch closing. Third place at the moment, Howard Bryan, but Greg Rose, deep in, under braking behind him. Goes by Stuart Dixon in the Superlight. Chris Porritt charging to the line. Aki Bornebusch is closing fast. Well, not much to choose between them in terms of engine capacity, but the Radicals got better cornering grip. Here comes the Falcon. Not much to choose between these two either. Greg Rose behind Howard Bryan as they battle for third, and up front Bornebusch is catching the race leader. Ooh, this is going to be a big last lap sort out then. Aki Bornebusch in second, Chris Porritt leads in the Caterham, and Howard Bryan still holding off Greg Rose for third and fourth place as they come onto the straight for the last time, and the Radicals powering by the Caterham. Is the Falcon going to be able to do the same? It looks like it is. Yes, the final top end surge brings him up the inside. Aki Bornebusch has the lead. Greg Rose has third place. So first and third lose their positions on the final straight. And the Falcon waggling its tail into the corner. Aki Bornebusch is going to win this one. He wins the final race of the evening by 1.5 seconds. Capri a lap behind, and the Falcon in third place. Chris Porritt better get his hands back on the wheel. There is Dean Cook taking sixth position in his TVR Tuscan, and the 4 Capri of Edward Baker, the 3 litre Capri a lap behind everybody else. But there is our race winner, Aki Bornebusch. He's had so much success this Power Night weekend. And he'll be back in the paddock before some of these guys finish. As Paul finds Allen in 7th place ahead of Paul Dickinson and John Cross, the former Rallycross 8s. They are in 8th and 9th, with Pete Walton's Caterham Road Sports in 10th. Lotus of Martin Roberts ahead of long-time leader Robert Ullman in the Toyota. And everybody in an MX-5 next up. So Aki Bornebusch ends a winning race evening with the final victory as well.
I got 3 wins, so I think that's the best I have done so far in racing.
Was it very difficult judging the pace of the other cars you came through?
It is, yeah. The mixture with slow cars and quick cars is you have to watch it. You can easily have a collision.
Well done, well done.
Thank you very much.
Greg, very powerful car, must be quite difficult coming through the traffic.
Yeah, it is a bit. It's very heavy, hard to get it stopped in the corners, and the lighter cars do get the better of you there, but just got to keep trying. But the tyres were going off a little bit, so I just tried my best to keep the pace going.
Let's take some forward planning to judging where to catch them through the corners.
Yeah, I was trying to catch them more on the straights than the corners to have an advantage there. It's a very powerful car, and it's quite quick on the straights.
Well, I think it's great. I mean, fantastic weather tonight, as you can see. The sun's been out all evening and it's finished off with a nice clear sky. Racing has been really good, especially the invitation Allcomers Open. We had over 40 cars on the grid, which we couldn't have asked for that a few weeks ago. It's been fantastic. They've all had a really enjoyable racing themselves. The competitors are absolutely shattered from so much testing, qualifying, and 2 races, 3 races for them, for some of them as well. The crowds have been brilliant. They've come over and joined in the awards ceremony, and as we've just seen on the stage there. So I think they've all gone home with big smiles on their faces.